Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to our week in weird. This week's really weird, actually, because it doesn't get much weirder. It does not get much weirder. Why do I have this open twice? That one. No. Hold on. I have my bug bot open twice for some reason. Okay, that one needs to stay open, and this one can close. Yes, there we go. All right. Oh, all right. Before I get too far into things, before I do my spiel here, I want to say thank you because a couple of viewers, a couple of supporters have dropped some channel memberships, and I want to shout out because we got DM, we've got Inquisitive Quandary, we've got Book Lover 92, we've got Ring 42, we've got Kip Davis, we've got Leo Filius, Al Trucker, Gary Priestley, Ian Chen Official, Spooky Bed Hair, all got a channel membership gifted by the one and only Who's Your Buddy. Who's your buddy? You're my buddy. That's right. And then to move on, Regios also dropped 20 gift memberships. That's 20 gift memberships for y'all out there. Love you guys. And they landed with Jen. They landed with Batmom, Parasolo, Sumami, Maya Atkinson, Dr. Osiris, John Hudson, John Fabiano, Aunt Jur, Autistic Septuagenarian. We have Pragmatic Crystal, the Transpositions. That's me. I got gifted a membership to my own channel from my other channel. You are Victoria, Settled Dragon, Jen with one N, Clockwork Rex, Ways to Human, Carrie Ann Chrysler, Soren Alexander, CD Ollie thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your support. All right, so today, as promised, as per the polls that are ever so important for parsing out what the show is going to cover, and when I say this, I'm not even kidding, these polls tell us which way the channel is going to go. Like, seriously. We talked about strings it is. I'm stringing up. I'm strung out because musical instruments and curses and devils and things like that go hand in hand, right? Like throughout history, we've seen, the devil went down to Georgia playing the fiddle against the devil, very Faustian like narrative, right? And we all remember I covered the 27 Club a couple months back, and we talked about, Robert Johnson, Deal at the Crossroads, where you give the devil your guitar, and he strums it, adjusts your tuning, messes with it, and then all of a sudden you're a virtuoso. I messed it up. I said virtuoso and then I fuck up. That's wonderful. I'm not a virtuoso though. I practice hard and long. I can't play it now. Y'all got me all nervous. Fuck it. Anyway, I write my own stuff too, but yeah, mostly my stuff's more strummy stuff. Yeah, but I like acoustic guitars better than electric guitars, but electric guitars are not exempt from having demonic possession, curses, and the such on them. But we're going to start things off right at the beginning of what inspired this. Tribute by Tenacious D. Let me see. Me and my brother Kyle here, we're drinking down. No, I can't do the talking part, but yeah, that's about as close as I can get with just one guitar. It's really easy to play though. There we go. Sorry. Had to warm up first. This is just the tribute, yeah. So, I don't have a pick of Destiny, though. I just have a gray Dunlop. If I had to pick a Destiny, I wouldn't be sitting here on YouTube. I'd be up on stage somewhere, right? But, let's check this out. So, here is a haunted paranormal guitar that was posted. It's been about 7 years ago. Yeah, listed 7 years ago. It's been viewed 14,211 times. 51 offers. Look at the asking price. Brilliant. $666 with $66.60 in shipping. Doobie doo. Yeah, I was not warmed up. About this listing. Okay. Here we go. This singular guitar came into my possession quite by accident. All right, you know what? Actually, I don't feel like reading all this necessarily. I'm getting lazy, so I'm gonna let this guy read it to us. This is, oh yeah, I guess I could say who he is. This is Kill City Saints. So let's let him talk.
Hey Hellbillies, what's going on? Reverend Hellbilly here. Hey Hellbillies, what's going on? Reverend Hellbilly here. Alright.
I don't know why it restarted like that. I guess it's possessed.
So, today we're going to talk about this haunted guitar that was for sale on Reverb. It's been sold. So, this was a K guitar, probably made in the late 40s, early 50s, just an acoustic guitar. You can see the pictures there. It's in pretty decent shape for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I had an old Gibson like this that was in sort of bad shape like this. And I wish I still had it, because I'd be like, yeah, I'd sell it as a haunted guitar. But like, this thing's haunted as shit. Make like $10,000 off of it. Come buy my haunted guitar. Why not? Why not do that? And John Hudson was #1. I thought John Hudson was leaving, and John Hudson. I pulled out the guitar, and now bro sticks around. I know the secret to your heart. It's the D. John Hudson loves the D. I think that should be. You should just put that as your Facebook status. I love the D without any kind of context, and see if people figure it out.
The guitar has a story, and it's a pretty crazy story. Now, disclaimer, I don't know if this is true. I'm just reporting this to you from my point of view, and I cannot, usually when I get a story like this, I can confirm it somehow. I cannot confirm the story in any way. There's just nothing out there for me to confirm. So, here's the story. This kid was born in 1966, and he lives in this neighborhood, and the guy that winds up with the guitar lives in the same neighborhood, so they're kind of neighbors. They know each other. And this kid was always into the darker stuff. I'm sure he was into metal, which in those days, you got to realize that, Louie was outlawed on the radio at one point. Those were just different days, So, but the kid was like into Aleister Crowley and black magic and all kinds of stuff like that, And he died at like 13 on...
he died at 13 on October 31st. When do you want to bet? It's October 31st.
October 31st, 1979, as the story goes. And he was just on his bed. And
I used to consider myself sort of hellbilly because I played a mix of bluegrass and heavy metal. So I called it hellbilly. The song I was playing just a minute ago is a hellbilly song I wrote. That one that starts off with this. And you go, who's been hiding bodies in the walls? 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 Years ago, so they say, sounds became true and torn away from the vine while it was in bloom. Anyway, I won't play a whole song for you, but that's like I played some like, and then it goes into like there's a heavy metal part like, with a distorted guitar, but yeah.
And he passed away, and no one ever had any, answers for anything. Back in those days, they didn't, they just, it's natural causes, people die and pass away, Okay.
Oh, so, y'all are actually answering the question. Who's been hiding bodies in the walls? In the walls, yeah. It's Gary Ridgway and Ted Bundy hid bodies in the woods. John Wayne Gacy hid bodies under the floor, which is like very telltale hard of him to do.
The guitar is on top of the kid when he passes away, like he was laying in bed playing guitar and just laid down and fell asleep and passed away. So, on the turntable, there was a 45 of Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult playing on repeat, they say. Okay, so...
laying down some lore. Blue Oyster Cult playing.
It is what it is, Well...
If I die, I'm going to die with this guitar. This, by the way, is my Fender Dreadnought. It's my favorite guitar. It's the one I keep mostly in standard tuning. It needs new batteries, though. The tuner's dead. I got a tuner on my phone, though. So it's not like a big deal or anything. But I also have a Big Black Johnson, which I keep in like a drop D tuning. Was the guitar made from Mustache Man's coffee table? Does that make it evil? There was actually, I had another stringed instrument to cover in this segment, and I took it off because it wasn't cursed quite enough. It was a bass guitar. That was the only bass I had on the list too, which sucks because I wanted to have a bass as well because I'm a bass player too, and I would have brought my bass in here and played that for you as well. But it was a bass that had belonged to like a Nazi guy, but not like a real like World War II Nazi, like a neo-Nazi from like the 70s or 80s or something. There was a Gary Ridgway around. We having serial killer puns. Don't Fear the Reaper didn't come out till like 76. Ooh, there's a poking a hole in your lore. When did he say that this happened? I didn't even catch the date he gave.
So the guy that wound up with the guitar, he became a professional musician, and he was out one day, and he seen the kid's mom, because they were neighbors, they lived on the same block, and he went to talk to her, and, wound up in conversation, say, I'm a professional musician. Well, she says to him, hey, do you want that guitar that was my son's guitar, because it's just sitting around my house not doing anything. And,
Yes, a Big Black Johnson and drop D. What's so oh my about that, Ember? Use your words. What's wrong with my Big Black Johnson being in drop D?
Like, we're musicians. We're like, sure, we'll take a guitar. We don't think nothing too much of it, So he takes the guitar and he takes it home. And he says that every once in a while the guitar just would strum itself. So, he's a little, He's a little freaked out by it, so he puts it in the closet. Well, then he leaves,
That's not
and when he
spooky
comes
enough, hold
home,
on.
the guitar's laying on his bed.
If the guitar's
Well,
going to strum itself, what chord do you think it should strum? If it's going to be spooky at night, okay? So just think about it this way, okay? You got a spooky guitar that's going to be spooky and strum itself in the dark while you're sleeping. So is it going to play? It's going to be a minor chord. It's almost, well, maybe a seventh, but okay. So it could be an A minor. Spooky, right? A minor is pretty spooky. There's also D minor, which is a little more haunting. You do E minor. That'd probably be the easiest one to play because you can even take this hand off and you can play all the note, all but two strings to play an E minor. Right there's an E minor. So even without, the ghost would only need one hand to do this. Now, what I think is a spooky sounding chord, and a lot of people might disagree, but I think a B7, right there, if it just strums itself. Somebody might not think that's a spooky. To me it's spooky, but I think that maybe the D minor. But no, I'm going with E minor. E minor is definitely the chord of Ghost. Definitely.
Well, he lives by himself. So how did the guitar get there? So he's a little freaked out. So eventually, after like 3 times, he says, of the guitar being on the bed out of the closet, he gently puts the guitar in the garbage. Doesn't think anything of it, I'm going to get rid of this guitar. He leaves, he comes home, the guitar's sitting in the corner now, where he would usually put it. So he says, oh, okay, he gets the goosebumps, he gets the chills. Time for the guitar to leave. So he takes his guitar over to the American Vintage Boutique.
That happened with the Furbies, too. Remember when we did the haunted Furbies? And they would throw the Furbies in the trash, and then they'd come back into the house the next day, and the Furbies would just be there. Haunted guitars are a lot like Furbies.
New Lebanon, Ohio, where they have the guitar and they put it up on Reverb and sell the guitar for $666 and $66.60 to ship it. What's kind of high on the shipping cost, if you ask me.
G minor for Ghost. Okay, I got a G minor, I believe, yeah. It's right there. I don't know, G minor sounds too upbeat for me. Anything in G. I don't know, but it's also what I'm playing too. So, yeah, why not smash it like Kurt Cobain style?
That's a lot of money to ship a guitar. Like I can get guitar shipped from Germany for $60, so I have a lot of money to ship it. And $66.
How do you get way up here? Hold on.
And he leaves. He comes home. The guitar's sitting in the corner now. Oh, okay. He gets the goosebumps. So he takes his guitar over to the American Vintage Boutique in New Lebanon, Ohio, where they have the guitar and they put it up on Reverb and sell the guitar for $666 and $66.60 to ship it. What's kind of high on the shipping cost, if you ask me. That's a lot of money to ship a guitar. Like I can get guitar shipped from Germany for $60, so I don't know why in America
gimmick.
It cost me $66 to ship a guitar, but that's what it cost. So there's supposed to be a video of someone playing the guitar on YouTube. I have not been able to find it at this point yet. I'll finish this up and then get ready to post it, and then I'll go look for it some more. But I could not find it anywhere as of right now. I'll look some more, though, and Yeah, just a crazy guitar. I mean, you can see it's a K guitar, from like the 50s. And, whew, yeah. Would I buy the guitar? No. I don't want the haunted guitar. No. Besides the fact that I only own one acoustic guitar, and I don't want another one.
Yeah.
My acoustic guitars are more like...
I prefer acoustic guitars myself. I have had electric guitars, but I usually just get electric guitar to play like a diddly little melody or something like that.
Pickups in them and stuff. They're like, hollow body guitars. That's my acoustic. I'm not a big acoustic guy. But, hey, in the comments, let me know. Would you buy this guitar? Now, I know you might not buy it for $666. Maybe you would. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, okay? All right, if you like guitar news, give me a thumbs up. Do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. I'm always bringing you guitar stories.
Hold on. That's not the one I wanted. This one's the one I wanted. Obviously, the Skeptical Inquirer is going to be a little more skeptical about it than... No, stop. What is this? That was not there a second ago. Here we go. Yeah, a terrifying artifact is currently in transit to Zach Baggins, the Haunted Museum. The Ghost Adventures host told Newsweek on Friday. Baggins is now the owner of the supposedly haunted acoustic guitar that could have been involved in the death of a teenager in 1979. I don't play the guitar very well, but you can rest assured that I will most definitely play this instrument and see if anything happens to me, Baggins wrote to Newsweek. Baggins purchased the guitar, the brand of which is unknown since the logo has been removed, though online music retailer Reverb for $666. Reverb's listing includes a macabre history for the instrument. Apparently, the seller was given the acoustic guitar, which is said to be cursed, by the mother of the deceased boy. The seller listed the instrument with a warning to future buyers. Please use extreme caution when conjuring phantasmic spirits that seem to be channeling through this iniquitous instrument, it read. We're going to be channeling some spirits. So I will haunt this guitar if anybody wants to buy it after my demise. If anybody wants to. Let's see. New Lebanon is out near Dayton. Okay. Thank you for proving my statement about people in Ohio being weird. Yeah, there's the Weird Valley runs through Ohio. There's a whole Weird Valley, the Ohio River Valley, basically. Just to a lesser extent, the Illinois River Valley too, as they make their way marching towards the Mississippi. I don't know if there's some kind of gas that they're releasing that causes people to see weird shit, but it's the weird Ohio, and it goes on down into northern Kentucky. It's in Ohio, a little bit of Indiana, southern Illinois. Yeah. All right. So the original owner of the guitar was said to be a 13-year-old boy who was rumored to be a Satan worshiper. When you're 13, and you're being edgy, I've been 13 before and been edgy before, so I know. The listing mentioned black magic, devil worship, and more before noting how the guitar was possibly involved in the boy's untimely death. His death has never been solved, but calamitous kid was found lying on the floor with his guitar draped across him, apparently electrocuted, even though this is an acoustic guitar, the listing claims. Acoustic guitars can't electrocute you. They just can't. Are you gonna do the humanoid flap, guys? Yeah, a Satan worshiper in the late 70s. Oh yeah, you mean he had a heavy metal album, is what that means. According to the listing, the owner decided to sell the guitar because the haunted activity it seemed to bring. I've heard the strings discordantly ring out despite no one being near the guitar. Further, on 3 occasions, I put the guitar in my bedroom closet only to find the guitar on my bed when I returned home. And I live alone. The final straw occurred when the guitar levitated out of the trash can I had somberly placed it in. So if you find your guitar has moved from its normal spot to your bed, it means your guitar is craving the drop D. So you need to give that guitar some drop D in its F holes. Okay, blah, 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 somberly in the trash. For Beggins, the first haunted musical instrument he has in his collection of morbid items, and that's saying a lot. Beggins has some impressive artifacts, plural, from serial killer cult leaders like Charles Manson and even Jack Kevorkian's death van. The unique guitar will fit right in because of its heavy rumored past. I was really blown away by the story behind the guitar and how the seller got the guitar directly from the boy's mother, Beggins wrote, because of that province is why I jumped as fast as I could to buy this guitar. I was literally driving my car when the phone started blowing up about the guitar for sale, and I was shocked when I was able to buy it. Zach, my dude, do I have the comb for you? Yeah, got some here. Hold on. This comb was I got it from a swamp witch whose ghostly grandmother used it to untangle her locks while she slept. And she just got sick of it. So she gave it to me and said, "Hey, Bree, this comb is cursed to untangle your locks." So Zach Beggins, that's real Providence. Real swamp witch gave this to me. Let's be $664 for this. And free shipping. I will cover the shipping cost. Let's make a deal. Magical comb. Anyway. Visitors of the Haunted Museum can expect to see it in person later this year because the musician who had the guitar experienced so much with it, including it levitating and playing by itself. I will display it securely in the Haunted Museum for close observation, Beggins wrote. Of course, the Haunted Museum's security cameras are ready to capture any freaky occurrences that follow the guitar to its new home. For more information, we go to their website. Let's go to their website real quick and see if we can see the guitar. Maybe there'll be a video of somebody playing it. Can we search? Where's the guitar? Here's the Kevorkian van. Some James Dean stuff. A Demon House. Peggy the Doll. Peggy Got That Wet. Devil's Rocking Chair. Over 30 rooms. Yeah, but tell me about the guitar. Tickets. Where is this place? Las Vegas? That's not too far from here. 10-hour drive, but still. About info. Let's see. Anything about the guitar? No. Blah. General questions. Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, I couldn't find too much on the guitar after his purchase of it. Late night flashlight ghost tour. Flashlight ghost tour, haunted museum tickets, merchandise, more. If y'all see any place where I'm supposed to click and I'm just not seeing it, that talks about their different exhibits, tell me. There's career opportunities, though. I want to work here. We are currently recruiting tour guides, security personnel, and gift shop retail associates. If you are interested in a position with us, please send your resume to hiring. Oh, I might do this. Send them my resume. Say I'm the world's leading cryptozoologist. And see if they'll give me a job. I would be cool living in Vegas and working at the haunted museum. Come on, that'd be awesome, right? I know I'm a skeptic, but I would still give the tours if I was a believer. But anyway, where were we? Okay, Guy already told us the story and went to their website. Okay. So, Skeptical Inquirer did a breakdown of this column by Kenny Biddle. Kenny Biddle's on YouTube as well. I watch him sometimes on Friday nights. But the Satanic Six String. Let's see. I first heard of the Satanic Six String from an episode of Squaring the Strange, a podcast that approaches strange claims from a skeptical point of view. During the segment, What Are You Skeptical of This Week? Co-host and musician Pascual Romero related a story involving an alleged haunted guitar that came with dramatic details and backstory. This haunted guitar was covered by mainstream media after it was recently purchased by my old buddy Zach Bagans for his not-so-haunted museum. I found the story interesting, so I decided to take a closer look. I found the original listing on Reverb under the heading Haunted Paranormal Ghost Guitar, which we just looked at. It's right here. Right here's the listing. This is on Reverb. Okay. The description read, a kid that lived in my street when I was growing up was rumored to be into devil worshippers, seances, Aleister Crowley, black magic, and other dark endeavors of the spirit world. I later learned that this neophyte necromancer was born in June of 1966 and died tragically on Halloween, October 31st, 1979. He was just turned 13 years old. His death was never been solved, but the calamitous kid was found lying on his bed with his guitar draped across him, apparently electrocuted, even though this isn't an acoustic guitar. Additionally, when the damnable corpse of the soulless stooge of Satan was eventually discovered, a 45 record of Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper was playing repeatedly on the Metastophelian Moppets GE Wildcat record charger. Yeah, that was very poetic. The style of the story reminds me of something narrated by Vincent Price, and the over-the-top dramatic language and flourishes attest more to a creativity of the seller than the validity of the story, and suggests this spooky backstory is likely more fiction than fact. For example, the seller refers to the body of the deceased teenager as the damnable corpse of the soulless stooge of Satan. Such a description would be considered by most as grossly inappropriate, especially given that the seller tells next, years later, I ran into the defunct boy's mother, herself propagating practitioner of the pagan arts. And when informed that I was a professional guitarist, she offered me her devilish daisy-pushing son's git fiddle. The seller goes on to describe some of the paranormal activity surrounding the guitar. Since I've owned the guitar, I've heard the strings discordantly ring out despite no one being near the guitar. Further, on 3 occasions, I put the guitar into my bedroom closet only to find the gear on my bed when I returned home. And I live alone. Doom, doom, doom. Lives alone. The final straw occurred when I saw the guitar levitate out of the trash can I had somberly placed it in. Unfortunately and predictably, there isn't any video of the levitating instrument or any evidence provided besides the description. However, you can listen to the not so spooky sound of the guitar on the track Leave All Your Cares Behind on the Seller's YouTube channel, Mira Baker 2019. Oh, wonder if we can find that. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. It's not, I'm worried about listening to something that might be licensed, though, so we won't listen to that now. I did a quick search and found a Newsweek article announcing that Zach Bagans buys $666 satanic six-string haunted guitar was supposedly killed a teen. The article repeated sections from the listing's description as well as some comments from the new owner. Plagiarist Zach Bagans. Bagans is quoted saying, "I was really blown away by the story behind the guitar and how the seller got the guitar directly from the boy's mother because of the provenance and why I jumped as fast as I could to buy the guitar." Bagans uses the word provenance in what really caught my attention. He's telling us that because the guitar came from an unknown mother of an unknown son and was now being sold by a musician, that somehow establishes good provenance. It's not, I assure you. Provenance is the chronology of ownership of an item, work of art, original manuscript, etc., and is a practice to help to authenticate that items, records, receipts, and photos, videos of the item at the location or within a person's possessions can establish provenance. Historians and researchers are required to do due diligence when authenticating items to be reasonably sure that the item is what it's claimed to be. One person telling a story about two completely unknown people is not authenticating anywhere or anything whatsoever. I agree. I thought perhaps Bagans, surely wanting to carefully screen out any inauthentic items from his haunted museum display, had gained additional information from the seller, particularly the identity of the mother and son. I tracked down the seller of the guitar, a professional musician by the name of Eddie Mirabaker. After introducing myself and explaining I was looking deeper into the story, I asked the name of the boy. Mirabaker responded, mentioning he was a very big fan of Skeptical Inquirer and had been reading it for years. Although he didn't answer my question about the boy, he directed me to an article about the guitar listing posted on their AV Club website. I read through the article and noticed that towards the end, the author asked whether Mirabanks thinks the guitar is actually haunted. His response is quite revealing. It isn't so much what I believe or not, but rather what the reader believes that's important. The quote is very telling, and I think it's meant to be a subtle hint that the story may not be entirely true. But by putting emphasis on what the reader believes, he was able to avoid answering the question directly. It's a common practice when one doesn't want to divulge information they would otherwise prefer to keep quiet. I followed up with Mirabaker, asking again the name of the mystery unknown boy or mother. I also asked if he could provide any links to the newspaper article that covered such mysterious unsolved death of a teenager, because it was said to have occurred on Halloween night. I have no doubt it would have been a very popular story that could be traced. In fact, I was already searching for the event myself. As we traded emails, Mirabaker initially stated he had no way to contact the mother who gifted him the guitar. Also, he did not wish to reveal the identity of the mother, thus unleashing unwanted notoriety and destroying her privacy. I could understand that an unsolicited media attention can often be overwhelming for a normal private person. However, Mirabaker mentioned something that caught my attention concerning the buyer, which he had not named yet. He stated, out of respect for the buyer's interest, I prefer not to address the facts present in the guitar listing. I will say, however, I am a pretty creative guy. How is that not a confession? How is that not a confession? Let's see. How long is this article? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to finish reading this article because we have other haunted guitars to move on to. But let's just say that this seems like a bust to me. I think that the guitar seller turned a hell of a profit on this old busted beater guitar. I mean, maybe it's worth something, but I don't know if it was worth $666 in used poor condition. You know, but moving on to our next guitar. This one actually has some videos with it though, guys. So I had to go to TikTok to find it though. So we got this band called 7 Year Witch, and their drummer is a guitarist too. Most drummers are, you know, I mean, most drummers are guitarists and guitarists are drummers. Y'all play together, and you jam and you write stuff together. But he bought this old guitar and alleges that it's haunted. So let's see what he has to offer. Can I full screen this? Or is this as full as it goes? I guess that's as full as it goes. All right.
Issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable stuff. I've never had an issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable stuff in my house. But I bought a guitar the other week at a garage sale from this old lady down the street. And every time I pick it up or strum it or play it, really weird shit happens, and I'll show you. It's some Lotus, like very 80s looking guitar. And every time I strum, like that, shit like that happens every time I mess with this thing. Shit like that.
So there was that. Let's watch that stuff again.
I've never had an issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable or play it, really, and I'll show you.
So
it's some
Lotus guitar. All right. The strings are all nasty looking, but at first I thought maybe it was a short that was causing the lights to flicker was what he was going to be talking about. Then that cup fell over and I'm like, okay, so this is woo.
Lotus, like very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum, like that, shit like that happens every time I mess with this thing. Shit like that.
But it continues on.
I've never had an issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable...
Haunted guitar from garage sale update. It trusts me now. Still WTF.
Yeah, so that's his story. That's where it ends, too. This is like the most recent update. It was from January 21st. So, we don't know what's going on now. Let's see. The ghost has been waiting for this moment to shine. I tried more videos about haunted... I tried to find more videos, I guess. Yeah, I need to know more about this. Seth A. Brute Burden. Do you have more details? Haunted guitar, come on. But that's where we ended. So we'll have to follow up on this story if anything more comes of it. Right? That was the 7 Year Witch, and it looks like some basic poltergeist style shenanigans going on here.
Very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum,
you got flickering lights.
Shit like that.
You got flickering lights, and you got, which is easy to do, and you got stuff falling over, which is simple pull string. Now the drumsticks, I mean, honestly, with him being off screen like he is here.
I've never had an issue with ghosts or any...
Date. It trusts me now.
With that being off string over here, you could bump those drumsticks right now. And then
Still
pan over to 'em.
WTF.
Like there's nothing there that looks like paranormal because they didn't start moving like off. They were off screen when they started moving, right? So, but we'll follow up with it and see what happens. All right. Next guitar. Next guitar is this creepy 19th century guitar curse. Let's see. It's pretty. It's like a parlor guitar. England's Bodleian Library, the main research library at the University of Oxford, and one of the oldest libraries in Europe, is home to a rather unique guitar. The instrument, which is displayed alongside an eerie coffin-shaped guitar case, is linked to Frankenstein author Mary Shelley. Not to mention a few centuries worth of speculation and controversy. Mary's husband, English poet Percy, like the fish, he's a perch, Percy Bysshe Shelley, who I think is that. Let me know if I'm saying that middle name wrong. Who helped edit Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus, Mary Shelley's popular Gothic novel published in 1818, drowned just a few weeks after presenting the guitar to his muse, Mary's good friend, Jane Williams. And they were like swingers, Percy and Mary were. Like, it's pretty well known that, they actually wrote this at a swingers retreat. Is where she wrote Frankenstein, because it was with, like, in 1818 there was the year without a summer, and they went there to summer and it was cold and nasty, so they ended up staying inside the whole time and wrote novels in between their orgies. When Percy gave the guitar to Jane, it was accompanied by a lengthy poem in which he supposedly placed his soul into the guitar, reserving the best tone for Jane, and answering only to the hands of perfect skill. Jane kept the guitar for her entire life and played it often. But does the guitar really contain Percy's soul? And is it just a coincidence that he died soon after giving the guitar and poem to Jane? To be honest, if I gave a guitar poem combo to my wife's best friend, I probably wouldn't live too long either. Regardless, the guitar earned a reputation for being cursed. The creepy coffin-shaped case adds a mystery, along with these lines from Percy's poem to Jane. And now, alas, the poor sprite is imprisoned for some fault of his in a body like a grave. We're going to listen to the complete poem after we finish reading this article about it, but I think that might be, anyway. But the people who say shit like, oh, if I gave my wife's best friend, they don't understand the relationship that Percy and Jane and Mary had. They just don't understand it. And Lord Byron was involved. And there was, that polyamory is not like a new concept, right? People have been doing it for years, centuries, millennia even. We'll listen to that after we're done with reading this one now. Okay, so in 1816, Percy translated Johann Wolfgang von Goeth's Faust. Yeah, I like Faust. Into English from German, of course. That's the 1808 play that partially responsible for the tried and true man sells his soul to the devil cultural motif. Percy translated Faust while Mary was writing Frankenstein, a story almost identical to Faust, but from an atheist perspective. I don't see any... How? Frankenstein and Faust are, as far as I'm concerned, are very, very different narratives. Yeah, I don't know. There's, other than being Gothic horror, I guess. This also was the age of Niccolo Paganini, the world's greatest violin virtuoso, who, legend has it, made a pact with the devil, just like Robert Johnson. Mary Shelley saw Paganini's performance in July performed July 18th, 1831, after, like, a full decade after she wrote her story. As her diary records, I heard Paganini today. He is divine. He had the effect of giving me hysterics, yet I could pass my life listening to him. Nothing was ever so sublime. So she liked his music. That's nice. Whether or not Paganini met with Mary or Percy, isn't clear, but they all would have been aware of each other. And it's easy to let your imagination run wild. Was the Deal with the Devil story just a clever marketing ploy by Paganini and a great basis for Mary and Percy to create what is considered the birth of science fiction? Perhaps when Percy and Mary were researching Faust, they stumbled upon a way to make a pact with the devil and paid the price. Okay, so how does Jason Becker fit into this? Wikipedia lists Becker in the top spot under notable works inspired by compositions of Paganini. Becker's career was cut short by ALS right at the point of his big break. Fans have speculated that Becker, who studied Paganini's work, also sold his soul to play the way he did. I started researching because I played on Jason's behalf for the launch of his Carvin Keisel JB24 numbered guitar and Seymour Duncan's Perpetual Burn humbucker. When I shared this tale with Jason, a dear friend of mine, this was his reply. Wow, this is all really interesting. Yeah, I've seen that I am listed as one of Paganini's disciples. I remember before meeting Marty Friedman, and still for a while in Cacophony, I learned a bunch of Paganini's 24 Caprices. I really liked how he had mastered his craft. There was something I admired about how his playing made people feel in awe or, gasp. I also heard it turned some women on. I wanted to do that too. I don't blame you. A lot of people get into being musicians because they want to turn women on. That's pretty standard. Google says Bice, which is pronounced Bish. Percy Bysshe Shelley. Okay. I should start telling people that I did sell my soul to the devil. It would be a much more interesting story than just a practicing kid. Plus, that would have been a ripoff deal, huh? Only a couple of years of good devil level of playing. So there is Jason saying he just wanted to turn women on. No soul selling involved, of course. If he is one and I or anyone else had made a deal with the devil, we wouldn't tell a soul. Does this old guitar contain Percy's soul? I don't know. Does it answer sweetly in flatter hands of perfect skill? They won't let me play it to find out. Yeah. So, all right, let's go listen to the song or poem.
With a Guitar to Jane by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Ariel to Miranda. Take this slave of music for the sake of him who is the slave of thee, and teach it all the harmony in which thou canst, and only thou, make the delighted spirit glow, till joy denies itself again, and too intense is turned to pain. For by permission and command of thine own Prince Ferdinand, poor Ariel sends this silent token of more than ever can be spoken. Your guardian spirit, Ariel, who from life to life must still pursue your happiness, for thus alone can Ariel ever find his own. From Prospero's enchanted cell, as the mighty verses tell, to the throne of Naples he lit you o'er the trackless sea, flitting on your prow before like a living meteor.
Flitting on like a living meteor.
When you die, the silent moon in her interlunar swoon is not sadder in her cell than deserted Ariel. When you live again on Earth, like an
I think you're supposed to write when it says Sal like that, and then Ariel, the next is supposed to say Ariel to make it mesh better. With I'm being pedantic,
star
sorry.
at birth, Ariel guides you o'er the sea of life from your nativity. Many changes have been run since Ferdinand and you begun your course of love, and Ariel still has tracked your steps and served your will. Now in humbler, happier lot, this is all remembered not. And now, alas, the poor sprite is imprisoned for some fault of his in a body like a grave. From you he
That's
only
the line right there.
dares to crave for his service and his sorrow, a smile today, a song tomorrow.
Yeah, this version of Under the Sea is not quite as catchy as the one that actually ended up in the Disney movie.
The artist who this idol wrought to echo all harmonious thought felled a tree while on the steep the woods were in their winter sleep, rocked in that repose divine on the wind-swept Apennine, and dreaming some of autumn past, and some of spring approaching fast, and some of April buds and showers, and some of songs in July bowers, and all of love. And so this tree, oh that such our death may be, died in sleep and felt no pain, to live in happier form again. From which, beneath heaven's fairest star, the artist wrought his loved guitar, and taught it justly to reply
L'Oreal, or Uriel,
to all who question skilfully in language gentle as thine own, whispering in enamoured tone sweet oracles of woods and dells and summer winds in sylvan cells. For it had learnt all harmonies of the plains and of the skies, of the forests and the mountains, and the many-voiced fountains, the clearest echoes of the hills.
This poem isn't nearly as spooky as I was hoping it would be. It's kind of like fapping to Jane, which is fine. I mean, I was hoping it'd be something spookier. The only spooky line was that grave line.
Hills, the softest notes of falling rills, the melodies of birds and bees, the murmuring of summer seas, and pattering rain and breathing dew, and airs of evening. And it knew that seldom heard mysterious sound, which driven on its diurnal round as it floats through boundless day, our world enkindles on its way. All this it knows, but will not tell to those who cannot question well the spirit that inhabits it.
So he does talk about spirit inhabiting the guitar, though.
It talks according to the wit of its companions, and no more is heard than has been felt before by those who tempt it to betray these secrets of an elder day. But sweetly as its answers will flatter hands of perfect skill, it keeps its highest, holiest tone for one beloved friend alone.
Well, hopefully I'll get to play that guitar, and then we'll find out if I have the mastery and skill needed to play Jane's guitar. Think I should play Jane's guitar? Alright, so we had, of course, the 666 six string, right? Then we had the Percy Shelley guitar. We had Homie with his ghostly videos with stuff moving around his guitar. Now, let us move on to another set of strings here. The Devil's Fiddle. Yeah. It's kind of the Porcalafella. I guess is how you say that. But we'll I'm not gonna watch this whole playing it thing, but this guy tells a little bit about.
Hey, hi, and welcome. Alright, what you're looking at here is my Czechoslovakian copy of the 1713 Stradivari. Or is it? Now, I bought this thing a couple of years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, I guess, maybe less, for about 75, 80 bucks or 85 bucks as a fixer-upper. It really didn't need anything. It was pretty much just put in new strings and refit the bridge and refit the pegs, and everything was good to go. And it sounds okay. Now, it didn't really have any real problems with it. The sound post was on the wrong side. That was the only thing that was kind of odd about it. But other than that, it has a soft kind of sound, and it's been kind of playing, the sound, the more you play an older violin, it seems, I guess, when they sit for a long time, this thing was stuffed in a basement from a luthier, so it was, all the dust and everything gets into the pores of the wood, so it takes time to get all that, to loosen all that up, but the sound of it comes out more and more every time you play it, kind of thing, and over years' time it actually sounds okay. Although I have cheap strings on it right now.
Get to the curse, guy.
It's okay. But however, strangely enough, it's one of the best violins I've ever played.
Stradivarius is cursed. Stradivarius is cursed. Let's do it. I get that your replica is neat. I want to hear what it's cursed, though.
In the sense of for fitting my hand. Maybe not the best sounding one, and I'm definitely anything but I'm a guitar player who plays violin, and most people can pick that out during my playing. I've been awarded the honor of the Screeching Cat masterpiece, that type of thing. And I never thought much of this little violin other than I enjoy playing it, and I've had no problem with it.
It's cute.
And it seems to do everything it's supposed to do. And it's not a bad looking little violin. But then I was informed of something very dark and sinister.
Yeah, the 1713 violin is cursed. Let's do it.
And from the making of this
Curses.
video, about last night or the night before, I received an email.
Curses.
And this was kind of a heated warning about the cursed 1713 Stradivarius.
We actually have a violin in the other room too. I don't play violin. Well, I can noodle on a violin, but I'm not good at it or anything.
And I'll just read it for you.
It's funny because I actually play the violin like a mandolin, not like a guitar. Like because the tuning's the same. It's got, a mandolin has 8 strings and a violin has 4, but the mandolin has those 8 strings doubled up, so you hold them with one finger anyway, and they're tuned exactly the same, at least in standard tuning for both instruments. So your hand positions are the same. There's no frets on violin, so you got to kind of like feel it out. But if you know how to play mandolin, your hand positions on mandolin, it does transfer okay to violin.
The letter goes to read like this, or email, should I say. Yes, the violin is entirely authentic. It is one of the most earliest and worst examples of Stradivarius's classical models, which is to say, a masterpiece compared to any other Cremoneries maker of the time. And it's worth a considerable sum, although selling it which will surely result in calamity. Do not worry about the fittings, the pegs, fingerboard, tailpiece, saddle, button, bridge, etc., as they were added much later. The neck was modernized in the mid-1800s by the ill-fated luthier and collector Teresio, whose fate is legendary.
There was a point in time where I wanted to be a luthier. I would have been. It would have been fun. I think I could have been good at being a luthier. I have built a few guitars. I think the ones I built are with Ian. The two that I built. Well, I built a guitar and I built a mandolin. And I was in the middle of building a bass when, yeah. Anyway, I don't have it anymore to finish it, but it was going to be a Necronomicon bass. It was really cool. It was going to have the face and everything on it, like in the Evil Dead Necronomicon.
It was one of the 2 violins found in his hands in his cramped apartment in Turin. There was actually a race to destroy this violin when he died. The obsessive collector Freemason and Satanist Jean-Baptiste Villeneuve, inventor of the diabolical octobass, rescued it alongside arguably the most famous violin in existence.
I keep wanting to play Ori and the Blind Forest for some reason.
1916 Messiah Salibu Stradivarius, which is on display to this day in the Ashmolean Museum of Oxford, or at Oxford. Precibit Anne was the name of Stradivarius's faithless third wife, who tortured him with her public affair with Joseph Granardi del Deju, whom she considered a superior maker. Antonio Stradivarius, or one of his sons...
Imagine your wife cheating on you because someone else was a better violin maker than you. Like, that's her standard. She's like, you know what? You make great violins that are going to be remembered throughout history, but I like this guy's violin better, so I'm going to fuck him. Now, that's why consent and open communication is important in a relationship. No one ever has to cheat. If you cheat, you choose to.
Bitterly dedicated some of his lesser works to her in a fit of irony driven by economic necessity in his later fits of madness. Marked by his creation of the long model 1713 was the year she died. This violin is cursed and should be dealt with carefully.
It's cursed,
the only other 1730 Stradivarius in existence belonged to the doomed composer Joshua Hancock, who drowned in his bathtub after learning of the return of Halley's Comet in 1758. The Heaven's Gate cultists, who committed mass suicide in 1997, based their entire philosophy on the demented composers of this tortured genius. Banned by the church and only surviving in fragmented form as the occult opera known as The King in Yellow, this violin was thought lost.
Have you ever read The King in Yellow? Have you seen the yellow sign? I guess I should ask. Have you seen the yellow sign?
After Villeneuve's death at the hands of an assassin hired by the notorious London firm A.B. and Hill and Sons, whose bows are coveted to this day. Under no circumstances should you attempt to play it, especially tuned between A29 and A44.
Well, every time I've ever tried to play violin in the bathtub, I've drowned. So, I mean, that makes sense, AR.
A41.2. Seek professional help, as merely abandoning, selling, or destroying the violin will result in dire consequences.
Dire consequences.
Display at once, as there are orders of violinists in the world who would use it to the darkest ends. Avoid the damned Mercer and his ilk. There is a professor at Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts, named Derek Stanford, who may be able to help.
Hold on, wait a second. Did you just say
Arkham, Massachusetts. There is a professor at Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts.
Miskatonic University at Arkham's not real, my friend. It's Lovecraftian fiction. It's not a real place. It's like that's like the Necronomicon.
His name, Derek Stanford, who may be able to help. I am truly sorry for you. Best of luck. Yeah, so that's the email that they left me. So kind of creepy, but very fascinating no matter how you look at it. As far as so far, I don't think the violin has brought me bad luck. And is it the real thing? I don't think it's the real thing.
Well, you just said the real thing is in a museum, so you're sure it's not the real thing. Let's not split hairs about it.
It looks a little too new and shiny, but then again, if it was cursed, maybe it would have some sort of youth spell on it or something like that, which would keep it from looking like it was aged when it's really aged when it's not looking aged, although it is aged. That's confusing. But anyway, no, a fun little tale. I didn't know the history of the 1713 Stradivari, and I have one. This did come from the Czech Republic, so I don't know if it was ever made its way to the Czech Republic, but if it did, this one did come from there, and I bought it in a little in the capital of Canada, Ottawa.
It is a cute little violin
shop there, and yeah, I still have it. I was going to sell it, but I don't know. It's like I kind of I guess maybe the curse is that now there's a story behind the 1713 Stradivarius. Now I know Stradivarius built approximately about 11 or 12, nearly 1,200 instruments, but yeah, it just goes with the legend of the story. I was not aware of the curse of the 1713 Stradivari. So if anything bad happens to me, though, just a little caveat: blame the violin. Maybe my bad playing, it's not.
Yeah, maybe if something bad happens to me, you can play this guitar. All right, yeah. So I think from here on, he goes out. He just starts playing it, and I no offense to him, he's not a violin player. I wouldn't be a good violin player either. So I'm gonna leave that at that. But yes, we've been through some cursed strings today, haven't we, friends? Haven't we? Setting that aside for the moment to close out the show. And tell everybody thank you for sticking around for this little installment of Weekend Weird, where we look at cursed and haunted, demonic stringed instruments. We had most of the guitars. We had one violin, though. Or folklore about a violin, I should say. I hope you enjoyed this little segment. If you've ever had a cursed instrument, or you would think there's other instruments that are cursed that I should cover, maybe cursed horns, maybe cursed pianos, whatever you got in mind, let me know in the comments down below. But I have to have examples of them, or else it's hard to put together a segment. Even this segment, I couldn't find videos of all of them and I couldn't find any videos of any of them being played. But yeah. Thank you so much for sticking with our Weekend Weird. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time. Whew.